Have you ever had a really important deadline, you sit down to work, and then suddenly find yourself deep cleaning the kitchen grout with a toothbrush? Why do we do this to ourselves? Why do we actively choose to do things we know we're going to regret later? Well, let's dive into that, because what's actually happening inside your head is a lot more predictable, and honestly, way more fascinating than you might think.
Okay, so we're going to start with a scene that might feel, well, a little too real for a lot of us. It's a loop, a cycle that traps millions of us every single day.
All right, picture this. It's 5 p.m., you just woke up from a nap, you're feeling good, ready to finally crush that big project. You open your laptop, and then ping! A single Instagram notification. You tell yourself, just for a minute. And poof, an hour is just gone. Okay, new plan. Make some tea for energy. But then a friend calls. Another 30 minutes? Vanished. You're just about to start, but now you're kind of hungry. So you eat, and then you're too full, and that's when the final decision gets made. You know what? I'll wake up at 5 a.m. tomorrow, and I'll crush it then. You set your alarm, and then spend 2 more hours scrolling on your phone. The cycle is all set to repeat.
Now, this loop can go on for days, even weeks. Every single one of these empty squares on the calendar is another day lost to the cycle. So what breaks it? What finally snaps you out of it? Panic. Yep. 2 days before the project is due, this huge wave of anxiety just hits you. The fear of failure is suddenly overwhelming. And as you can see here, it's that panic-induced stress, and only that stress, that finally forces you to work, usually at the cost of your sleep, your sanity, and let's be honest, the quality of the work itself.
But why does this happen? I mean, is it a character flaw? Are we all just lazy? No, not at all. The reason this whole thing is so universal is because it's a fundamental conflict, a battle happening between different parts of your brain.
In fact, this experience is so common, so deeply relatable, that when the writer Tim Urban explained it in a TED Talk, it became this global phenomenon. We're talking over 57 million views. He didn't just describe what we do, he gave us a vocabulary, a map for the forces fighting for control inside our own heads. And here they are. So according to Urban, the procrastinator's brain has a crew of 3 main characters, and they each have their own agenda. You've got the rational decision maker, the instant gratification monkey, and the panic monster.
This slide really just nails the central conflict. On one side, you've got the rational decision maker. Think of this as the captain of your mind. It's your prefrontal cortex. It's all about planning and thinking about your future. But it's not alone at the helm. There's also the instant gratification monkey. This guy lives for right now. It's your limbic system hardwired to seek pleasure and fun, and it is an expert at hijacking the ship's wheel from the captain. So the monkey stays in charge, leading you down these endless YouTube rabbit holes and social media spirals, while the poor rational decision maker just watches, completely helpless. And this goes on until the one and only thing the monkey is terrified of shows up: the panic monster. This is your amygdala, the brain's fear center, lighting up. It only wakes up when a deadline is terrifyingly close, and that overwhelming anxiety is the only thing that scares the monkey away, finally letting the rational decision maker grab the controls again. So the system works, right? I mean, you get the thing done in the end. But here it is. This is Tim Urban's core insight, and honestly, the most crucial point of this entire explainer. The most damaging kind of procrastination is the kind that happens where the panic monster never shows up. And this slide just breaks it down perfectly. You see, there are 2 kinds of procrastination. First, there's the deadline-driven stuff. Finish a project for your boss, study for that final exam. For these, the panic monster will eventually come and save you. But then there's the second kind, the deadline-free goals. Things like taking care of your health, starting a business, getting out of a toxic relationship, bringing your big ideas to life. For these huge, life-defining things, there's no deadline. And so, the panic monster never wakes up. And the consequence of that, as this image just so brilliantly shows, is absolutely staggering. For our most important, most meaningful goals, the monkey just stays in control, completely unopposed. And procrastination just quietly eats away at our potential, creating this massive gap between the person you are right now, your actual self, and the person you have all the potential to become. It's a silent theft of your life. As Urban puts it, and this just hits hard, it's how we lose our lives, one unfulfilled ambition at a time. Now, to really drive this home, take a look at this grid. We tend to treat our time like it's infinite, but it's not. Each tiny square you see here represents one single week in a 90-year life. This is it. This is all you have. And for a lot of us, many of these weeks are, well, they're already filled in.
This is the time the monkey can steal from you when no one is watching.
Okay, so that's the diagnosis. That's the why. But just understanding the map of your mind is only the first step. To actually change course, you need a new operating system, a practical, step-by-step way to help your rational decision maker take the wheel back from the monkey, even when there's no panic on the horizon.
And for that, we're going to turn to author Nir Eyal. You see, if Tim Urban gave us the diagnosis, Eyal gives us the prescription. His book, Indistractable, provides this logical four-step method to beat procrastination by mastering its root cause: distraction. This is our practical toolkit for finally managing that monkey.
So how do we install this new operating system? Well, it all comes down to 4 key steps you can literally start using today to become indistractable. So here's the plan, the 4 steps. First, we're going to master our internal triggers. Second, we'll use something called the 10-minute rule. Third, we're going to learn to time box our tasks. And fourth, and this one might surprise you, we're going to schedule our distractions. Let's break them down.
Okay, step 1 is probably the most important of all. The real cause of distraction isn't your phone, it's not social media, those are just the symptoms. The real cause is an internal trigger, a feeling you want to escape from, like anxiety or boredom or uncertainty. See, the monkey runs towards distraction to avoid feeling uncomfortable. So the action here, the next time you feel the urge to procrastinate, just pause and ask yourself, what am I actually feeling right now? Just identifying that root emotion starts to disarm its power over you. Next up, we've got 2 super powerful techniques to reclaim control. First is the 10-minute rule. When the monkey starts screaming for distraction, don't fight it. Instead, just tell yourself, okay, sure, we can do that, but in 10 minutes. This tiny delay is like a workout for your impulse control. It reinforces that you are in charge. And honestly, a lot of the time, the urge just fades away. The second technique is time boxing. The monkey loves it when things are vague. So schedule your day in non-negotiable blocks of time. From 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., I'm working on Project X. That clarity removes the friction of deciding what to do next, which gives the monkey nowhere to hide. And here are a few more bonus tactics for your toolkit. First, schedule your distractions. The problem isn't watching Netflix, it's the lack of control. By actually scheduling guilt-free time for fun, you turn a distraction into a planned reward. Next, try the 5-minute start. The hardest part of any task is just getting started, right? So tell yourself you'll only work on it for 5 minutes. It's such a low bar for the monkey to jump over, and you'll be shocked how often you just keep going. And finally, break those massive projects down into the smallest possible pieces. A task your brain believes it can finish is a task your brain is actually willing to start. So, we come back to this grid. The battle for your time really is the battle for your life. But now, understanding the players, the rational decision maker, the monkey, the panic monster, it gives you the power to actually step in. By mastering your triggers and giving your time a structure, you take back the wheel. You can start steering towards the life you were actually meant to live. So the most crucial thing to remember is this: procrastination is not a character flaw. You're not broken, you're not lazy. It is a fundamental, predictable conflict in the human mind, and because it's a system you can learn to manage. This is a winnable battle. Which really just leaves us with one final question. Looking at all the weeks you have left, all those empty squares just waiting to be filled, how are you going to choose to steer the ship?